So Rock and Rant said, it was a big mistake for Mario, but I appreciate your support to tell the fans SMU is the same town as Miami. Don't gaslight us. Just say nothing then. We are not dumb. I think this was blown out of proportion as a lot of these, like kind of the Carson Beck thing earlier. It was a show with Joe Sagaki. It was a Mario Cristobal show. This was not like a confrontational interview where he's snapping at reporters and being defensive and anything like that. And Sagaki was trying to be positive, as those shows go. And he was saying, you guys did this, you were able to do this, you had more talent, kind of focusing on the positives. And then Mario said, no, they have as much talent as anybody. They have as much talent as us. Just kind of a throwaway line. And I think when you watch the clip, what he's saying is these guys are good. They beat us. Like, don't tell us how good we are when we lost. It wasn't like, hey, we lost because we played a great team that just was too much. And, don't be mad at me for losing this game. They know they lost to a less talented team. Yeah. It was just coach speak of like, don't tell us how good we are. We lost.
Danny,
that's all it was.
I don't actually disagree with you from a fundamental level. I really don't. And you're right. You shouldn't disparage a team that just beat you. Bottom line is they beat us. But I wish, what I wish you would have said, though? I wish you would have said, Joe, what we did on Saturday against any team is not acceptable. That'll get us beat against a lot of teams. Because there was a coach who once said, if it's not okay in losing, it's not okay in winning. And he's right. You know which coach said that? Mario Cristobal. It's one of his phrases. And I saw things in the first quarter of the year where I said, when we should have known that our pace and tempo wasn't good? And I'll go back. Let's go back to September 20th. The fact that we were only up 13-7 against Florida as Cormani McClain picked the ball up. I remember watching that. I was there and I said, wait a minute. How in the hell are they getting the ball with a chance to take the lead? That game should have been 31-0. And I get it. It rained. The weather was an issue. But the fact that if you watch that game, you said to yourself, that game should not have been a 6-point game. Guys, tempo matters.
Yeah, especially with this quarterback, man. I compare him to Ward, and it's like they both have an extraordinary amount of pass protection, as we've seen. I think Ward was just such a perfect fit with this offense that Pete talked about it yesterday. I don't agree with everything he said, really most of what he said, but I do agree with the fact that...
Listen, we're talking about a lot of things that have been taken out of context. My comments have been taken out of context.
Well, Danny, to your point, as I was getting ready, I was listening to the Todd McShay show, and he did a segment on Miami. I'm a big fan of McShay. Watch him, read him. I subscribe to his website. He actually said in talking to scouts and doing some studying around Miami, he believes that what he's being told, his feedback from NFL personnel who have no horse in the race, they're just trying to find players. They believe Carson Beck will still be drafted within the second day, possibly. Yep. And they believe that he'll be at least a high-end, high-level backup that'll make a lot of money playing football for the next 10 to 12 years of his life.
I heard the same thing. And internally, look, when TVD was thrown
away... They're not down on him. They are not down on him.
When TVD was throwing away the season in 2023, and it was this time of year, they wouldn't say it on the record, but off the record, it was like, this guy's killing us.
Yeah.
There's nothing like... They think Beck is good. Now, one thing I'll say just about the pass protection, right? So one thing Pete was saying was about how... Pete was talking about how our situation helped Ward. And I think it was a perfect storm of a lot of good things. Obviously, he's the first overall pick, the best player I've seen since Sean Taylor in Miami. So he was individually spectacular. But I think the fact that a quarterback with his playing style had that much protection, it was like a force multiplier, meaning his game is about being like the point guard, the combo guard. I'm pounding the ball. I'm going to make a play. I'm going to find an angle. I'm going to make a play. I got 24 seconds. Give me the ball. I control the pace. I'm going to make a play. When your offensive line gives you all day, you're going to find Restrepo getting open, on scramble ball. You're going to find those plays because you have the time. When he hasn't had as much time, other things have happened. The offenses haven't been as efficient with Washington State, and Tennessee is really bad. Yes. But it was a perfect fit. With Beck, any quarterback wants good pass protection, but Beck to me is a guy that's like, get the ball, ball's out, I'm moving fast. Like pace would help him more than necessarily just sitting there all day. Because sometimes you've seen him, he's had all day and then he's moving around. It's like you don't feel great about it. It's not him. Speed up the tempo, let him get into a rhythm, and I think that will suit him more than it'll suit a Cam Ward, who you could play 1 mile an hour with Cam Ward. It doesn't matter. He's going to play at his own pace anyways. Speed up Beck, because I think that's more of his style.
If I'm just telling you, the first 3 drives that we were kind of running space and pace, I said, I like this. There's no need to stop. We don't need to do the tight formations yet. And I'm just there with that 1 3rd down late in the game where Fletcher got stuffed. I'm going to tell you again, from being at the game, the collective groan. And there's something, I hope the fans still show up. But I'm Danny, you weren't with us at the time, but I am in more private group chats with fans who I know for a fact go to more than just home games, who have said, Steve, right now I'm turning in my tickets. I'm selling them. I'm like, ooh. And I think that's telling. I want this to work for Mario. No one can say, Steve, you hate Mario. If you actually look up all my posts, all my tweets, I'm actually a big fan of Mario. I want this to work with them because in my view, it'll work with him the best out of anyone we can get. It just ties together everything politically, the institutional armor we talk about, the loyalty to the program. This is a destination job for him. It's not some place that he wants to jump off to. It's not a launching pad, but he has to make changes. I don't believe he has to change his core fundamental principles of what he believes. Physicality, being big, because that is across the board. You always want to be that, right? But I actually think at 97% of this, he's good. Like, that's what we want. It's that other 3% that we got to get home, and can he just alter and change just a little bit? That's all I'm asking for.
Steve, Bo, when do we got to get you out of here? It's 10:03. We got 5 minutes?
Yeah,
you're out of here now. Yeah, just let me know. Sure. And we'll get your plugs in too. But people are saying about the game here on Saturday, it'll have 15,000. Club, if you can buy, what's he say here? So you can buy club level tickets for $23 right now. Here's the thing I'll say, Steve, and I'll pull something out right now, and I know you are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. We were talking about this season actually a little earlier. This is the East Carolina loss season, 1999. So we get a little bit of momentum, and then Michael Vick, Virginia Tech, we're ranked 19th actually at the time, which I think we're ranked 18th now. Michael Vick at Virginia Tech, 43-10, complete domination. I was a freshman in high school. These 4 games, let's say the 3 games, the 3 home games, and there was a bowl after. These 3 home games
built momentum.
And I was there. Temple might not have been a home game, but Rutgers and Syracuse were home games. I was there in the Orange Bowl, sitting next to future NBC nightly news anchor Tom Yamas and his brother Lewis. There was no one at these games.
No one.
And this was the game. Ken Dorsey became the starter in these games. 55-0, 45-13, and then Temple was 55-0. That might have been a home game too. I don't recall, but this was the period, and there was no one at these games, and it didn't matter. So, and I guarantee you the confidence in the coach was at probably a lower point even than Mario has right now with the fan base, etc. So that probably is going to be the case. That does not stop you from putting on a show for the people that are in that crowd and for finding something on offense that is something you can carry forward for the rest of the year.
Danny, my message to the players would be this. The eye in the sky does not lie. You're putting out your resume. You're putting out game tape. It matters. And when you go into your NFL draft meeting, you're meeting with clubs at the combine and they put in some bad plays, they don't ever want to hear, wow, you know what happened? God, there's only 23,843 people. I just couldn't get going. That actually is not an alibi that's going to fly.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing was, going back to that Dorsey run at the end, it was amazing. We suddenly went from the Coker tee to running a much more wide open. We actually ran trips one time, and I almost fainted. I said, wow, we're running trips. And the offense just flowed. And I remember the Gator Bowl. We played Georgia Tech, really good team with Joe Hamilton. Kenny Kelly started that game, got off to a good start, and then he kind of reverted back to what he was, very inconsistent, and Dorsey finished it off. Going into that next spring ball, Butch Davis put up an ultimatum. He said, hey, Kelly, if you want to play baseball, go ahead. But if you're not at spring ball, you're not going to be part of this. And then he left the team, and the rest was history. But going back to this year's team, look, guys, it ain't over yet. Have some personal pride that you individually, even if you're selfish to say, I'm going to play the best football I can, because I want to make sure that every team out there at the next level says that guy is going to be a pro. He's a professional in his outlook. And this is going to be a test for Mario Cristobal about his culture and just what are we as a program, okay? No matter what has happened, you cannot fix the past, but you can help determine the future.
Love it. Steve, give us their plugs. Let us know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at Steve Kim323 if you want to have your Twitter timeline inundated by a lot of inane ramblings and retweets. I'm your guy, Steve Kim323. And then on Instagram, Steve Orale Kim. Also, I do the 3 knockdown rule with Mario Lopez. And I'm going to be on with Coach JB in a little bit here. And, of course, Fearless with Jason Whitlock a couple times a week. And I just want to let you guys know, hey, this segment every Thursday is brought to you by Jensen Sunset Corners. It has been a Miami tradition. And before you head to Hard Rock Stadium, we still have a couple of home games, and make sure you go out there. Make sure your tailgate is locked and loaded with everything that you need for your pregame and your postgame. And if you come in wearing your gear on game days, you get 10% off all non-sale items. Support that great family. Cruz family, we love you guys. 8701 72nd Street, a Miami tradition.
Professionally done. The man himself, Steve Kim. Well, hopefully we're celebrating.
Yeah.
It'll be a crazy celebration, but hopefully we're cheering a successful step forward next week.
Danny, it's something you told me years ago when the regular season was expanded from 11 to 12. And I was like, I don't know. And you said, wait, Steve, we only get 11 weekends of Hurricane football anyway. We should be blessed to have 12. I look forward to this the whole year. These 14 weeks of college football, but specifically the 12 games Miami plays. Okay, I think about it all throughout February, all throughout the summer and spring and whatever. So I'm going to watch the games intently. I am. When I'm at Coach JB's house, one of those screens, the big screen, will be on the Syracuse game. Doesn't matter what else.
No, I don't know. It might be one of the 4 screens.
No,
like
we're not doing
earlier.
the 4 box. And by the way, with YouTube and ESPN battling, I don't even know if that's available right now. I've heard some stuff, but I'm just telling you, I am going to watch that game intently because it all links in together. Okay? As disgruntled and as disappointed as we are as a fan base, I do realize we are still only 2/3 of the season out. Anything can happen. Let's just play ball and let's just rack up these victories.
Love it. Joy, Steve. We'll talk next week. Be good.
Talk to you guys. Have a great weekend.